Hello fellow Aquarius, this is Lada, your Aquarius ascendant astrologer, reading for you Aquarius, whether it's your ascendant, sun or moon in Aquarius. I have a soft spot for all Aquarius, probably you've noticed that. And this is your August 2016 astrology forecast with me, Lada from Astrolada, and we're shooting from Deception Pass. This is in the northern West Pacific, in the state of Washington. What a stunning place. I mean, wonderful. And let's see what August brings for us Aquarius, whether ascendant, sun or moon. Let's start with the more difficult news. Saturn and Mars, the two malefics, will be extremely bright in the sky, which means they're very powerful, and they'll be joining together in our 11th house, Aquarius, the 11th house of friendships. And actually they did it before. They did it in March and April. They were together there, even part of May almost. So some of you already had a whiff of what Saturn and Mars can do together in the 11th house. So certain issues that were happening then might recur again, but this is for the last time that Saturn and Mars will be together. And this is for the last time that those issues can be, can resurface, escalate, but be sorted out. And then again, it will never happen again for another 30 years in your life that Saturn and Mars join together in the 11th house from Aquarius. So whatever difficulties in regards to 11th house we had, this is the last time in August we have a chance to kind of culminate them, to resolve them in some way, but they will appear. And the 11th house is friendships. I had, for example, in March, when the Mars and Saturn were together in my 11th house, a friend of mine was not feeling well, so she was in a tough spot, and we almost separated as friends, which was very hard for me because this is like my most heartfelt friendship. And I had some issues with other friends, and also friends fell out through my life. I relocated to a different country, and my whole social circle also was disappeared because Saturn and Mars, they remove what is no longer necessary in your life. They remove, like Saturn is the scythe. The Grim Reaper has a scythe. Saturn is the Grim Reaper. So it cuts off things, while Mars is a surgical knife. It surgically removes even from the bottom, friendships that are no longer valid, or friendships that have reached a certain potential and are more destructive than helpful might disappear from your life, or friends might move away in some way. Something can happen in your social circle that you distance yourself, or that you reevaluate your actions in your social circle and what social circle you'd like to have. So definitely that's been happening in me. I don't know if you felt it on that level, but the 11th house also rules gainfulness. And Saturn is our planet, by the way. Saturn rules Aquarius, is the traditional lord of Aquarius, and it feels we resonate very strongly to whatever Saturn does. So it's also Saturn being the 11th house can induce us to find new friendships. Because whatever Saturn is not such a malefic planet for us. If anything, Saturn is a good planet for us because we are Saturnian. And Saturn is joined by Mars in August. So it means that we get infused with Mars energy, being Saturnians, which means that we can become a bit more aggressive, a bit more pushy, but we can also become more ambitious and driven at the same time, especially in regards to pursuing long-term goals, because the 11th house rules long-term goals, working very hard on some long-term goal. But it's not going to fall in our lap. We have to really break our backs and put all the efforts we can. So something you've been working a long time can start giving results, or can culminate requiring a lot of your final push of efforts when Mars joins Saturn in our 11th house of long-term goals. And only through personal hard work we can gain some results, because Saturn never gives more than you've put in. Saturn can reward, but never more than you've put in. And Mars will push you for the final push, or to really mobilize yourself and organize ourselves. But at the same time, we might feel more frustrated because Mars is anger, so it's good to do some physical exercise. It's good to do some more action as well. And Mars rules our 10th house, Aquarius. It rules our career, Scorpio. So joining Saturn, our planet, it might be some important culminations and having to work very hard in regards to something to do with your social status, your career, some important developments in regards to your career, some important developments with bosses, authority figures as well. And Mars also rules our 3rd house. When Saturn joins it in the sky, this is about some very important communications and exchanges with others, information that you can receive of importance. Again, it can be a little bit frustrating, but it will culminate to some important results and some important developments with siblings, neighbors, teammates, associates, playmates, which is all the third house again, can happen in August for us. Okay, but also the 11th house is recognition and social status, and not social status, so much like recognition from the public. And there might be a little bit, because two malefics there might be more attacks to you from the public, from people in your social circle, because Saturn and Mars are more predatory planets. But again, this can be resolved by more diplomacy. And it toughens that. Saturn Mars always toughens people in regards to the topics where it goes through, how to deal with that. And you're receiving those support from the 8th house, because Venus, Mercury and Jupiter, the three benefics, will be also bright in the sky, able to counteract the more negative, stressful influence of Saturn and Mars, and able to counteract it through some kind of, through 8th house activities. So how does it, what happens? How do we counteract if there are any problems in your life now in August, Aquarius? 8th house approach will help you. An 8th house approach is kind of a bit more behind the scenes. It's a hidden house, just like the 12th one. It's so with a bit more manipulative approach. I'm not saying being manipulative bitches or anything like that, but kind of more psychological, more strategic approach to the matters rather than rushing ahead and doing crazy stuff. 8th house is research, first research. 8th house is the house of the sleuth, of the detective, of the investigator, the conspiracy researcher, so investigate, research in depth. It's the house of psychological self-analysis. So those beautiful positive planets can help us receive some, without straining even, receive some big psychological insights into our hidden motivations or into the hidden motivations of others, which can protect us from being harmed in some way by the Saturn-Mars conjunction. So apply a psychological approach, apply a research approach, and more manipulative behind the scenes approach, as I said. And the 8th house is also astrology, so astrology can be a great tool, for example, and help when the three benefics are in your 8th house. You can naturally gravitate to such occult topics that are hidden, and they can give people that are in fields, 8th house career fields, can have a tremendous month, which is very successful and positive. With astrologers, tarot readers, psychics, psychologists, emergency workers, surgeons, people that work with other people's money, bankers, financiers, people that work with people's secrets in some way, people that handle hidden information or resources in some way. You can be able to have an improvement in regards to your taxes, find the tax loop in some way, or find a way to, something to do with inheritance, because the 8th house is inheritance. If you've been waiting for some inheritance, now might be the time when this issue is resolved. Or if you've been waiting for some money received to you from others, because 8th house is other people's resources, they can come as a support now. Or assets. It doesn't have to be only money, it can be financial or material assets of some sorts that come to you, that come to us, say for example money from clients. They can be increase on money that come to you through others, increase on money that comes through you if you're in a business partnership, or maybe your partner can make some, your marriage partner can get like a promotion financially, or can give you present of something, or if you ask for support from others financially or morally, you will receive it, because the 8th house is other people's resources, whether they're emotional, whether they're skills from others, whether it's finances or their assets, or even borrowing from your neighbor something, But on a bigger scale, you can really ask for loans or for your money back in some way, or you can ask for, it's kind of also money that comes to us that we haven't worked for from others, so there can be some fluke, like money come back to you, or money that you didn't expect comes to you, or money that comes to you through partnerships, business or personal. So that can be a good kind of a source of an income in a sense, or source of upliftment for us. And the 8th house is sexual intimacy. So this planet can help unblock certain sexual intimacy and create more sexual intimacy between you and your partner. If you have some sexual hang-ups, which are usually caused by trauma in some way, because the 8th house rules trauma, Venus, Mercury and Jupiter can maybe not fully resolve the trauma now in your 8th house, can definitely unlock certain traumas and release them. And it's not only sexual traumas from that are buried behind Jupiter, Venus and Mercury can bring those feelings to the surface, so you can become more emotional. Will definitely be more emotional, more intense, almost scorpionic in nature, which is not very typical for Aquarius. But you're kind of going to have the positive side of Scorpio, the research, the strategy, the intensity, the intense sexual bonding, and the ability to penetrate and read others' motives, because positive planets are triggering your 8th house, which is associated with Scorpio. So this is what I see for us, Aquarius. Oh, there is a lunar eclipse in your sign, Aquarius. It's a very weak one because you will not be able to see the moon fully eclipsed. It grazes the surface of the moon. Even NASA excludes it as being an eclipse, but we astrologers still consider it. So Aquarius that are born in the last 10 days. So because the eclipse is happening at 25 degrees Aquarius. So later Aquarius, the ones that are born in February, I would say from around the 7th to around the 17th, they will feel at least on the emotional level, that eclipse that is happening. Or if you have your moon or ascendant from 20 till 30 degrees in Aquarius, you can find out your ascendant and moon degrees from my planetary detail table from the birth chart calculator. I have put a link for it. Just look at the planetary detail table and see if you have moon or ascendant from 20 till 30 degrees in Aquarius, and the eclipse will affect you directly. And the eclipses there are about the big life changes. The eclipse is about the fated events, almost like we don't have control over them. It's not something you can make about it. This is those moments of when the fate intervenes. If you've walked off and veered off of your dharmic path, the path that leads you to join fulfilling your mission, when eclipse happens on your moon, your ascendant or your sun, then the universe creates like sudden out of the blue event that changes the direction of your life. So, but even though it might feel scary, some people like might get married, some people, it indicates that over the next 6 months, when there will be another eclipse opposite you, there will be like, actually not even 6 months, over the next 18 months, because there will be a series of eclipses that are starting from August now for almost 18 or 24 months, almost 2 years, that will be happening in Aquarius and in Leo. But every time an eclipse is in a Leo, it affects you directly. So there will be a big changes that are happening in regards to relationships. Some of you might get married, some of you might get divorced. In regards to if it's your moon in Aquarius, it might be something big change in something to do with motherhood, something to do with home, something to do with the mother or the important women in your life, like a big fated thing that happens. You have no control of it, so you just accept it. Or if it's your son, a big change with your career, with your overall direction in life, a big change with important men in your life, father, husband, bosses. And if it's your ascendant that is in Aquarius like mine, over the next 20 months with all those eclipses, even starting already now, but this first eclipse in August, only the late degree Aquarius will feel it, 20 to 30 degrees. There'll be like a big redirection in your life, and later on relationships as well. In the path of your life and later relationships. And eclipse is not felt just for the week that it happens. It signals a series of changes that will happen throughout the next 2 years, starting already. Maybe you start feeling it from even already from July. But it's like there will be a shift for us. The karma is coming, but that's a good karma that we not necessarily know. It might be painful when something goes away and a new thing comes, but this is when the universe kind of puts us on the right track, and eventually we get to a better place that we're destined to be. So thank you so much, Aquarius. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next month. And follow me at Astrolada, my Facebook page, where I do free readings for people who can win them, where I answer questions, Power Hour with Lada, where I answer astrological questions, so you can win a free reading with one of my psychics or one of the astrologers who are amazing. I found them from around the world, and I personally guarantee for their skills, and I vet their work, and I learn a lot from them as well. Thank you.